Hello friends, welcome back to another Value Vintage Cards video. So recently, my good friend Jason with Everyday Card Collector was talking about oversized items and how much he's appreciating what oversized items are available, how much he just enjoys the ability to collect something different even when it's a kind of unique size. And he talked about the challenges of storage, display, all the things that go along with it being a non-standard slab, non-standard case, all the stuff. So I responded with, obviously this is something I completely embrace and enjoy with the hobby, but also wanted to share kind of what I do. I know a lot of folks have noticed behind me is things. I've had people actually that are really attentive and have said like, hey, I see this behind you. I'm like, man, you got a good eye for detail. Super cool. But I thought this was a good opportunity just to do a little bit of a mini tour of my shelving. So when we bought this house, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I guess now, it's been a while. We were really just fortunate, and it was perfect in every way. They had just remodeled the kitchen. They were a family of five. We're a family of five, so there's seating at the kitchen counter for five. And when I walked in here, this was the previous owner's office. He was actually a friend of mine, so it was kind of a fun deal to have happen. But walked in here and this was his office, and I said, I think I have an idea for this. So we have a little bit of arts and crafts stuff for my daughter, but for the most part this is my little sanctuary of collectibles. So I just wanted to kind of dive in, and I'm sorry, the quality of this is going to be whatever it can be, because this is about the least controlled environment you can do. But I did want to show, we've got things like this. I've got Lou Gehrig back there, which that's going to probably show up pretty terribly just because of shadows and reflections and things. The Yogi's showing up quite nicely. Actually, maybe there's a little bit better shot of the Butterfinger Gehrig. But the good thing with the oversize is if it's big enough, these shelves are just, again, like I couldn't have planned it any better. The shelf height is basically exactly what I need to be able to display something like that. And then I just put, postcards, and what else is back here? Some autograph stuff. So this is kind of all like Barra, a little bit of Gehrig, some Bill Dickey stuff back in here. So very Yankee icon focused on the players that I collect, extra hard. So I like to display little starting lineups and autographed items, and put together some of these little sillinesses. So little ungraded run there of Barra things. And then as we slide over, just the height, the display ability of it all. If you can find a shelf, measure out what an ideal height would be. I don't want to show too much of that. Some of that's for an upcoming video, so maybe I'll release this after we do that one. But this is really kind of a Hornsby display. And then you'll notice at times, sometimes I have something else there, just not so much out of intention, just out of haven't had a chance to put it anywhere different. But Hornsby items. The one thing I will say is if you have displays like this, it becomes a little bit extra fun because you can really treat it. My buddy Joe always says, he's like, you're not so much displaying it, you're a curator. So you want to keep your displays rotated just because it keeps it interesting. So these are all kind of, whatever that would be, maybe 4x6. That's always one of my favorites. That's one I just did the cons video, but I had recorded that before I picked up that mini Minoso. So yeah, a few different fun things in there. But you kind of fit them by size, and then you get some bigger things and bigger cases. There's that crazy Sugardale. Some bigger pictures, more decals, bigger decals. And some older stuff that's a little bit bigger. That's a fun one. I'll show some of those later, but just giving you guys an idea. I've got my silly row here. I think that's about 40 years old, so that's kind of fun. Over here, I spend a little less time on this end of the display room, but you know, comic books from the 50s, some more statues. So I think if you have the space, this is kind of fun. I doubled my blanket collection recently. So I had Walter. I added in a Frank Chance for a ridiculously good deal. So Walter Johnson is awesome. You get Rube Waddell in there. And some of these are not anything even really like quote unquote collectible. They're just, reprint 8x10 images for $5. But I always liked stuff like that because you get like either more candid things, a couple of Rube Waddells there, way more candies, like playing catch in the front yard. I mean, how fun is that picture? And then you can get things like that where it's, a Louisville Honus Wagner. So kind of fun. Mathewson postcard back there. Mathewson and McGraw, actually from like a print publication back in the day. Over here, my museal stuff kind of collected. Hey, look out. See, sometimes you get stuff just out of place, but actually the DiMaggio stuff, this is Stan, Ted, and Joe kind of all together. So some statues, some bobbleheads, some starting lineups, old VHS. I'll have to explain to the kids what that is, but something I probably would have watched when I was 10 just for some learning. You will notice every so often I have like stacks. It's usually in preparation for an upcoming video, so if it's a live or a known topic or something, I just start pulling cards. When you see the stacks disappear a little bit, that's meaning that I've finally had time to put things away. I'm loving autographs that are a little bit different, so that's standard size, so it's just a recent delivery. But NL MVP 2-time, why he's not in the Hall of Fame is driving me insane. But what a cool seller, because they included this for no reason. They just tossed that in there. So talk about the big premium on junk wax era. I got a free Maddox rookie. That was kind of cool. Over here, so Phil Rizzuto doesn't really fit in. This is really kind of my Lefty Grove. And should be Jimmy Fox. I need to reassess and get some things organized a little bit here. But that's a cool one too. Ralph Kiner. But yeah, I mean, as you have different sizes, you can see how many I have stacked here. I'm not trying to show what they are. I'm just trying to show like how much you can fit. That's everything from postcard size to graded, slabbed autograph stuff. So a little bit of everything. This little cube here I saved literally just to be able to stack things. So I have 2 rows of SGCs. You can see some depth. Even if I pull, that's 3 or 4 out of there, so it's pretty deep. There's at least 10 deep probably in each of those. And then I've got the really big oversized stuff, so getting some stuff like that. There's probably another 10 or so of those. And then these are all like PSA slabs. So really, just to avoid taking up all my box space in the world, I just stack them here. They kind of lock in, so I don't know how many there are. More than 10, I would think. That's got to be around 10. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so there's 11 there. So just to give you an idea of how much space that is or isn't taking up. And then even above that, up to the ceiling, I kind of use that. The porcelain cards, more starting lineup, some autographs, Dick Allen Slurpee cup. Clemente, Schmidt, Ryan Sandberg with the Phillies. Lefty Grove, just regular old picture. Carl Hubble is actually autographed. Bob Feller's autographed. Kiner autographed. And then just some reprints that I thought were iconic cards. So what's really fun is with that I've acquired, what, 1, 2, I don't know, 3, maybe 4 of them on there. So it's kind of fun to take a look at things that were once in my just iconic display and realize I'm getting a few of them. Some of those are monsters I'll never be able to acquire, but not all. Some of them are in the realm of possibilities. So Spider-Man, Princess Bride. And then the last thing I wanted to do, I brought this over. I usually don't put a box of cards on top of my printer, but I did want to just show how nicely these oversized cases fit. So I mean that's a big case size. It fits in there perfectly. I think I can get maybe 12 or 13 of them, something like that. So it takes up obviously way more space than what 13 of these would be. So you're losing some storage, but a standard box, if it holds graded cards, will hold this pretty gosh darn nicely. So if you're looking for storage ideas, kind of all my big boxes, as I sort them, I don't mind sacrificing like half of one row to oversized slabs, and then even stuff like that. So got Frank, the Cons, a Clemente. That's a good one. Exhibit, George Mikan, Hank Aaron. So some oversized thing. So not really trying to show cards today quite as much as I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of mini room tour, but it's really just storage capacity for all the oversized stuff. So kind of a unique way. There's my Sisler shelf. I forgot to show that. Sisler stuff, and then I always have one of these boxes. I think it used to hold, I must have bought a box of cases at one point, and it just turns out that it holds cards really, really nicely. So sometimes these are just the fresh card shop pickups, and sometimes they're things that I'll probably eventually move on from, which is what all these things are on the back here. So at some point I'll maybe take those to Strongsville and see if anybody has a need for what I'm ready to swap out of. So that is a little bit of how I store oversized stuff. Absolutely love the subject, love the material. Thank you, Jason, for kind of bringing this topic to the forefront, and sorry for any kind of glares and video quality. And this is probably the first time I've handheld a 13-minute video, so how you all do that, I know some people like use a way to attach it for card shows and stuff, but man, this is much harder than it looks. So my apologies for all the flaws, but just wanted to share what I could. I will catch you all on the next one. Thanks.